Hello. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it's beneficial for both the tattoo artist and the clients out there. Before we get into it, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and sharing this, I would appreciate it. So admittedly, this video is actually more directed towards the client. I just thought it would be helpful to make a video that can give some helpful tips to the client from a tattoo artist perspective of how to search for your next tattoo, your next artist, and maybe just answer some questions that clients possibly have had regarding the process all along. Searching for an artist today, I would say, is a lot easier than it used to be, say, 20 years ago. Today, if you have a phone, if you have social media, you now have the capability of searching for your artists, connecting with artists all around the globe at the palm of your hand, and being able to pick and choose who you want to go with. And so because of that, I think actually there's probably less of an excuse to not get a tattoo that you don't want or didn't desire. Things can still happen. Tattoo artists are not perfect, but nowadays you have the ability to search out your artist and seek out their work for a good amount of time before you just commit after you've driven down to a shop like you had to do 20 years ago. And that would be my advice. Take the time to seek out your artist, to search out your artist. Don't be in a rush to just walk into a studio and need something right then and there. I know that when it comes to the smaller tattoos, maybe that's fine, but I think that we should even value what we're putting on our skin regardless of the size or the difficulty of it. Again, social media has made this so much more easy now, where you just can sit in your bed and scroll through Instagram looking for an artist that best suits the style that you're looking for. Because there's so many artists around the globe, now you're getting more and more artists that have a specific style, a specific niche that they're trying to hone in on and stick to. You still have artists that specialize in being maybe a jack of all trades, where they're able to do a lot of different styles, and that's great. But nowadays, if you wanted lettering, you can find an artist that specifically or primarily does a lot of lettering. And I think that there's more confidence in knowing that you're going to get a good lettering tattoo from an artist where you mainly see just lettering all over their page, rather than somebody who maybe has it sprinkled through their Instagram here and there. That's just my opinion, but I think that, again, social media has made it so much more easy for you to get a good tattoo, make a good decision, and not just rush into the process. So both tattoo artists and clients have value. And what I mean by this is that for the tattoo artist, their value resides in the fact that they have a skill set that they've spent years putting time and effort into. It's an expensive craft, and they have an ability that the average person can't do. And so therefore they have a certain level of value. And in the same way, clients have value. Your skin has value. You should not be cheap with your skin. Tattooing can potentially be very dangerous, and there's nothing worse than wanting this permanent mark on you forever, but not valuing your skin and your time enough to research your artist and make sure that not only are they sterile and clean, but also that they do the kind of work that you want, and not being cheap about that process. Because what ends up happening is, if you don't value your skin, you don't value your time, you don't value your wallet, you get a tattoo, it isn't done right for whatever reason, and you either have to fix it or cover it up. Now you're paying twice for a tattoo that you could have paid for once. Now what I'm about to say may offend some of you out there that are listening, and it isn't my intention, but it is what it is. Clients do not determine the value of a tattoo. Clients do not determine the value of their artist. Yes, in reality, there is an aspect where this is true, where yes, if somebody's a first-year tattoo artist and they're just barely picking up a machine, they don't really have any business charging what, say, a tattoo artist who's been tattooing 10 plus years, 5 plus years, 4 plus years has been tattooing. So other than that example, I can't think of an instance where it's okay for the client, the customer, to say they want a product that they can't provide for themselves and determine how much it should be. That's very presumptuous, and a lot of times that will turn off a tattoo artist to even the idea of working with you. So what am I not saying in all of this? What I'm not saying is that you as the client don't have the freedom and the choice to, once you hear a quote from a tattoo artist based on a tattoo that you want, maybe decide to decline on that piece because you can't afford it. But there are ways of going about that. And I think regardless if you're a tattoo artist, you being in the working business world of any kind, know the respect that you want to give and receive from every person. And so delivery is key. A lot of times you can convey that without conveying it in a way that almost seems to diminish the value of the artist. I've seen this done so many times, and I often wonder if, because we live in a generation today where you can get even the most high-priced item on a deal website where somebody is selling a pair of Jordans that they didn't want anymore, or you have your local, thrift stores and your local, 99-cent stores that make household items or things that you normally would buy at expensive rates at a cheaper price. I wonder if that's what's contributing to these types of clients that can come through the door, want a tattoo, not understand the process, and also think they should determine how much it should cost. There are so many reasons as to why a tattoo artist is quoting you what they're quoting you, why their work maybe is as valued as it is. Just to name a few of those reasons, number one, right out of the gate, they are providing you a service that you can't do on your own. If you could do it, you would do it. And that goes hand in hand with almost any business that provides you a service. If you could do it yourself, you wouldn't be going to them to do it for you. Another reason why tattoos are so valuable is because myself, and I would say every artist included, has spent years upon years, hours and hours and minutes upon minutes trying to get better at this craft. And not even just the mere act of a tattoo, but the hours that we spent studying various styles of art and cultures of art. Those of us that had apprenticeships, those of us that have been to art school, there's so much that goes into the tattoo that you get on the day you get it that you don't see as a client, but it's in reality what you are kind of paying for when you get a tattoo. The last thing that I will say about why a tattoo artist and their work has so much value is because the tools of the trade, what we use on a day-to-day basis to do a tattoo, is not cheap. It's very expensive. And depending on what kind of a tattoo artist you are stylistically, it still is an expensive craft. And so that is also what goes into the cost or the quote of a tattoo. The skill set that you can provide for yourself, the years that your artist has spent doing it, and the tools that we pay for to do your tattoo. And so, with all of that said, don't be cheap. And so when I say cheap, I'm not necessarily talking about a dollar amount. What I am talking about is more so a mindset, a belief system, a way of thinking that some clients in this world carry with them in every scope of the business world, where they are not willing to pay, or they are going to determine how much this thing is that they want. And so guys, let's be real. Tattoos themselves are not like any other item that you can purchase for yourself on this earth. Everything else that I've ever bought since I was able to buy things for myself has now ended up in a dump somewhere or fallen apart and been sold to somebody else. Every tattoo that I have on my body is going to be there until the day that I go on the ground. And so the longevity of a tattoo, the procedure of a tattoo, puts it so much more above everyday items that you buy in stores and malls, yet so many people treat it like as if it's something that is just like a pair of shoes or a purse. And it's not. It's really not. And so once again, I would just reiterate and encourage you as the client to not be in a rush to get a tattoo, to be patient with the process, to seek out a really good artist, and to not go in there with any preconceived notions of how much it should cost or this is only what I'm going to pay. Value your skin enough to be patient with the process. Every tattoo artist is going to have a different way to instruct their clients to prepare for their tattoo. And so a lot of what I'm going to be sharing right now may just be my way of doing it, but either way, I think there's things that you can take from it. So the first thing that I like to tell my clients before they get a tattoo is rest. Rest is super important. Before getting a tattoo, you're going to be sitting still for long periods of time, and believe it or not, restlessness and being tired and not getting enough amount of sleep before your tattoo does play into how well you sit through the pain. And so I will commonly just ask my clients if it's possible for them to get at least between 6 to 8 hours of sleep the night before their tattoo. I know in this culture and country it's probably unheard of. A lot of us are probably living our life operating on like 5 to 4 hours of sleep, but 6 to 8 hours is what I commonly ask from my clients. Now, this next piece of advice may be one that a lot of tattoo artists either don't agree with, or even some clients maybe don't agree with, and I don't necessarily think that it's objectively true all the way across the board, but what I've observed over the course of my career is that when I've tattooed clients who tend to eat a lot healthier, that tend to stay away from a lot of the greasy, salty foods, don't maybe go out drinking a lot, or don't smoke cigarettes, their skin and also just their irritability tends to not be a factor when I'm tattooing them for 5, 6, 7 hours. And I don't know necessarily all of the reasons why eating healthy or eating fruit either the night before or the week of, or even just as a lifestyle, helps, but it really does. And I think it's just a common truth of what you put in is what you get out. And so I know that healthy eating and not smoking or drinking like crazy also plays into how well your tattoo heals. And so it goes without saying that it's very important the morning of your tattoo to have some level of protein and sugar in your body. Eat some kind of a breakfast. I know that many people in our culture today aren't really breakfast people, but you need something, and you need something more than just a Starbucks coffee and a bagel. You need something with a little bit more protein and sugar to kind of help you get through those first couple hours of the tattoo. It's early in the morning a lot of times when tattoo artists start, and so you really need to help yourself be energized. One of the newest things that I've been having my clients do for the past month is I've been asking them to go and buy some of the Palmer's Cocoa Butter brand lotion and put it on their skin the week of their tattoo. I was recommended this by another fellow artist, and the reason being is that it's a really good brand of lotion that really helps hydrate the skin and soften it and get it just ready to not have to wrestle with it when you're tattooing it. And for the past month, believe it or not, it's really been bringing great results. And so that's something that I have my clients do. But all in all, you should be lotioning your skin before you get a tattoo. So the last thing that I would say that you can do as a client is the day of your appointment, bring things like either headphones to listen to music or watch Netflix, bring a book if you like to read, anything that'll help you not only be comfortable, but help you zone out during the process of a tattoo, especially if you're going to be sitting there for a long part of the day. These are just things that help contribute to you being relaxed and comfortable during that process. It is so important to not settle as a client, to not settle on your artist, to not rush the process. And like I said before, this all ties into you as a client having value for your time, your wallet, and your skin. Now, this is what I mean when I say don't settle. This all plays into what I was talking about earlier about you as a client having value for your skin and the process. Too often will a client just settle on an artist because he or she can work in a shop and do a tattoo and they have an Instagram with some photos, and because clients usually aren't always the judge on a well done tattoo, they'll just roll the dice. And settling a lot of times is the result of impatience, meaning that you as the client didn't want to take the time to research artists, to maybe talk to other people that you know that have gotten tattooed, to find the right artist for you, especially if there's a certain style of tattooing that you want. Yes, again, as artists, when we all started doing this craft, we were a jack of all trades. We had to kind of do everything so that we could get well-rounded in every style of tattooing, because it was going to contribute towards us getting better at things like line work and color packing and shading and things like that. But ultimately, as the tattoo industry has grown and progressed, you have a lot of artists that like a specific style, and now they hone in on that style and they stick to just that. And so a lot of times the client just settles and they go, I just want to get a tattoo right now. And then they will roll the dice with their skin, they'll roll the dice with their wallet, walk in, and then maybe possibly risk the chance of not getting a good tattoo. This may not be popular with most artists, but I think it's way better to wait to get your tattoo than to spend money on something that you impatiently rushed in to get. That isn't to say that even the artist that you've sought out and is of a certain caliber won't still make mistakes. This craft is something where no one can be perfect, but there's a vast difference between a mistake that's made just because you're not being tattooed by a robot, and then someone who's not clearly skilled enough to be doing a kind of tattoo that you want. Again, patience, patience, patience. Don't settle on your artist. You know, and make sure that you know that this is the artist you want to work with, because you're going to have this piece on your body forever. So hopefully this video helped, guys. I know that much of what I shared, that there might be a population of artists or clients that don't agree with what I'm talking about, but I know that for some it may register with you. And again, my intention with this video was just to be able to educate the client. I think as artists, we owe it to the client on some level to educate our customer base. A lot of the mistakes that are made as a client are just due to the fact of a lack of knowledge, of just not knowing. And as a tattoo artist, I think we owe you more than just to take your money, than just to give you a tattoo. Yes, the tattoo in itself is very, very valuable, but I think that as tattoo artists, we should care enough about the clients that are coming to us, and enough to give them information that is helpful so that they can make good decisions and get good tattoos. Yeah, I just think it's really helpful to be educated on these things. As consumers, a lot of times what we are paying for when we purchase something is an experience. There's some kind of experience or reward, something that gives back to us when we are willing to dole out our money for things. And so as tattoo artists, I think we should give that experience, even through consultations and giving them education and well-rounded knowledge of what to expect, and taking care of them during the tattoo, making sure that they have what they need. This is all wrapped up in the cost of a tattoo and the experience that they're paying for. So I just hope this video was helpful. I hope it was informative to any client out there who's maybe trying to get their first tattoo, didn't know a lot of these things. That was my goal, just to contribute. And please, if you have any questions or comments, fellow tattoo artists as well, please drop a comment. I'll do my best to respond to everything in a timely fashion. Until next time, thank you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe.